Good morning, students. Today we are back with Let's Make Commerce Easy, and we are doing the topic which is known as strategy alternatives. This is there in your semester 1. Let's begin. So, as we had spoken, there are four kind of strategy alternatives. The first one being growth strategy, second one is a stable growth strategy, third one is retrenchment strategy, and fourth one is combination strategy. We are going to quickly go through each one and we will see as to why these strategies are important. Let's begin. So we had done this in the last class, stability strategies, and why will a firm go for factors adopting the stability strategy or under what circumstances. Okay, so stability strategy aims at stable growth. So factors which are going to affect the are first one, performance level. So management may be unwilling to have higher sets, or they are not sure whether they are going to get their targets. The second point I have is profits. Now, what do I mean by profits? Like for anything, for having a stability strategy, any firm has to have a good profit, or how they are going to rise from the current profit level. The third factor I have is risk factor. That means, if I know that there is a lot of risk, so if it's a traditional management or traditional philosophy, they don't want to take the risk. The fourth one I have is resources. That means, now for example, to enter the market or to have a new thing, I require land, labor, capital, entrepreneur. I require lots of money, or for my sales promotion or anything of that sort of. So resources are very, very important. The fifth one I have is environment. As I had explained you, environment means internal environment and external environment. What is there within my firm and what is there outside the firm? That means cement industry and all, paper industry. They are those industries where the environment is not much affected. But when I'm talking about technology, when I'm talking about new phones, you will see every day there is something new. It's in an extremely competitive environment. Are you understanding? So that comes under environment. The sixth point I have is expertise. Now, for example, for a stability strategy, I require somebody who knows the market or who has had 5 or 6 years and who knows that even in the worst period or even in the worst lockdown, how that things could have got better. The seventh point I have is market share. At the end, with the stability, I want that, okay, I have amidst that entire market share at least 5%, or at least I'm dominating by 2%. And eventually I will I will grow. Eighth point is management philosophy. Now, see, there are a lot of people who believes that a traditional philosophy and no, we should not spend more on marketing, and you will see a lot of new companies who believes that we should spend more on marketing. So that is known as the management philosophy, the way the office thinks. The ninth point I have is strategic advantage. Now, when I'm talking about strategic advantage, the goodwill, the image of the firm plays a very, very important role. That how, what they think about, I mean, what viewers or customers think about you in general. The 10th point, which I had done last class, was scope for functional improvement. That means, every company spends a lot on R&D, and R&D helps a company, really come there, like to stand out than the rest of the competitors. So all this would come under the stability strategy. Okay. With this, I finished the entire recaps or relapse of, recap of the stability strategy. Today, I'm starting with another very important topic, and that is known as growth strategy. We will not be able to finish the entire thing, but let's just focus for today on the internal growth strategies. Let's understand what is an internal growth strategy. So first, let's understand the growth strategy is divided into internal growth strategy and external growth strategy. Okay. Internal growth strategy means those kind of strategy which is there inside a firm, which is there inside a organization. Okay. Now, internal growth strategy is divided into intensification strategy. That means what? Intensification strategy means something that I can do within the firm with a lot of efforts, with a lot easily. That is known as intensification strategy. In that, first one I have is market penetration strategy. Matlab, how I am able to get inside the market, and the best example for this is Reliance Jio. The way they have entered the market is one of the best strategy. They have penetrated the market at the right time when people could not think about anything else, So market penetration can be two ways. One is coming up with a new product and entering the market at a time when they think it was the right way, or selling existing markets, selling existing products to the existing markets in a way wherein they will have an impact at the right time. That is known as market penetration. Also, I could have come up with a new novelty, and penetrated another market. That means, for example, my products are very famous in Gujarat state, and now I wish to enter Maharashtra state. So that is also known as market penetration strategy. The second type of intensification strategy I have is market development strategy. Let's understand the meaning from the word market development strategy. That means ex extending the existing products to a new market area. Now, say for example, I am Coca-Cola, I am Pepsi-Cola. First, they had started in Maharashtra. Eventually, slowly and gradually, they went to Tamil Nadu. Then they went to, the north, the east, and all across India. So that they captured the entire market slowly and gradually, and that is known as market development strategy. The third type I have is product development strategy. Now let's understand what is product development strategy. That means whenever I am developing new products for existing markets or for new markets. That means what? For example, initially Colgate had only the normal Colgate, the red and white packaging that was years back, Slowly and gradually, they came up with, Ved Shakti gel, Colgate. Then they have, now is the charcoal, they have is Colgate Total 12. This is an example of product development strategy. With, with all the above three, I finished the first kind of internal growth strategy, and that is intensification strategy. Now we are moving to the second type of internal growth strategy, and that is diversification strategy. Let's understand what all points will come under diversification strategy. Now let's understand the meaning of the word diverse and diversification. Diversification. So diversification strategy is known as expansion or growth of business into a new product line. Let's understand what do I mean. That means what? For example, I am a company and I was selling television, and slowly and steadily I realized now I will start making mixer grinder, juicers, I will start having another kind of ice cream makers. So all of this would come under the diversification. That means along with TV, now I came up with a new product line, and that would be other home related appliances, that is mixer grinder and etc things. So this is the meaning of diversification. Now I'm starting is the types of diversification, and in that the first type of diversification and we have is vertical diversification. So let's understand what is vertical diversification. See a line coming from top to down, from north to south, that is known as vertical, okay, or down to up, that means from south to north. It's a vertical standing line. How we write number 1? This is known as vertical diversification. So in this what happens in a general vertical diversification? The company expands its activities or product lines. So that is known as vertical diversification. In that, I have the first one, that is forward integration. Okay, let's understand in this vertical line that I have number 1. How can I go forward? So let's take, I am at the bottom of number 1 and I want to go on top of number 1. So that is known as forward integration. So a company can expand its activity in such a way that, it moves ahead of its present line. See, for example, there was a cloth manufacturer and he decides to go to make t-shirts, shirts, etc. So I am moving forward. That means what? I had a whole setup of making making the fabrics, dyeing the fabrics, and now out of those fabrics, I'm also making is shirts, t-shirts. So this example or this kind of explanation goes for forward integration. The B part I have is backward integration. Let's understand what is backward integration. So in backward integration, like let's take the same example, okay? I'm going up. That means I was making shirts and everything. And now along with the shirts, okay, I have started also to make a manufacturing unit to make the cloth, dye it, making buttons, making, other fancy things or fancy logos. So all of this would come under backward integration. That means from number 1 top, I'm coming down. That is known as backward integration. Now, the second type of diversification that I'm teaching you is horizontal diversification. Let's understand what is horizontal diversification. Horizontal diversification means a company expands its activities by introducing new products or new product lines which are related to a certain extent to the current line. That means what? Same, okay, same, like for example, let's take, I am selling refrigerators. Okay, I'm Samsung and I'm selling refrigerators. Now I decide to come up with Samsung air conditioners, Samsung, all consumer related products related to durable goods. you know so I have a Samsung mixer grinder, Samsung boss machine, Samsung, etc., but all of them in the durable goods. So one line of goods for consumer durable goods. So that is known as horizontal diversification. Okay. The third type of diversification strategy I have is concentric diversification. That means what? Uh, these are those products which are indirectly related to the present line that I have. So what I have is a car dealer, okay, may start with a finance company. That means what? For example, he knows that his company gives car loans. So he is not only selling his cars, but also giving loans and earning interest on that. So that is known as concentric diversification, a business idea which is linked to the current thing that he is doing. So he knows that people who, okay, I want to buy a car, I don't have a loan. So, okay, sir, I have my second company which gives loans. So this is a very good example of concentric diversification. The fourth and the last type of diversification I have is conglomerate diversification. Now, what do I mean in a conglomerate diversification? You will see this Tata Group, all the multinational companies, they have lots of products under them. Like, for example, when I'm talking about Tata, okay, so Tata Steel, Tata Motors, Tata Consultancy Services, Tata Power, Tata Chemicals, Global Beverages, Tata Teleservices, Titan Industries, all of this would come under conglomerate diversification. Basically, multi-products, different products coming under one group, like a big group, and that is known as conglomerate diversification.